I'm Jay Taylor. I'm the editor of a newsletter called Jay Taylor's Gold, Energy, and Tech Stocks. I'm also the host of a radio show called Turning Hard Times into Good Times. It airs every Tuesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 12 o'clock Pacific. It is aired on the Voice America Business Channel. I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum. It's November 15th, 2019. And I'm here with Ivan Bebek. He is the executive chairman of one of my favorite companies, Auryn Resources. Good to see you again.
Oh, good to be back. Thanks, Jay.
You know, I'm really looking forward to an update because it doesn't seem as though that much has been happening. I know there's a lot happening behind the scenes. I've seen you have, in my mind, until just recently, just a couple of days ago, I've seen you as a two-project company primarily with some other interesting assets, and that's Commitee Bay up in the Nunavut and also Sombrero down in Peru.
Sure.
Both really exciting, world-class potential, size, scale, the kind of things that I like to look for. But now you seem to be finding some more interesting things in Peru, and I want you to talk about that, the Curabaya project.
Sure.
You just put out a press release that what? And I thought it must be Sombrero, what I see in the numbers that were there. So I want you to talk about that, but give us a summary on what's happening at Commitee Bay and also Sombrero.
Sure, well, thanks, great to be back. And first off, I'll say we've spent $60 million in 5 years exploring Commitee Bay. We appreciate everyone's patience, and we've had a lot of excitement, but our biggest breakthrough of that program, or that whole effort, happened this summer. And what it was, as you know, we've drilled tens of meters of low grade, mineable widths of low grade, but up there you need to have 6-7 grams over those same widths to make something work and be substantial. The big breakthrough we had was we found a signature in the geophysics. Basically, we put electrical and magnetic currents into the ground. It was very unique to the high grade at Three Bluffs, as well as at our West Plains target. And we compared it to all of the low grade we were drilling, and they didn't have the same signal. So if you look for a key, we figured out how to drill gold up there, no question. We've done quite a bit of that. We drilled 30 meters of 0.7, and you'll say, Ivan, that's not high enough grade. I understand that. However, it is the most continuous higher grade we've drilled year to date. But on the backside of that, because we've had 3 or 4 hits like that, we were able to statistically compare the low grade to the high grade and find a very distinct signature. So right now we're extremely excited. We think we've cracked the ability to target high grade at Commitee Bay, going into a really good gold market. So we're really excited.
So next year you'll go back and test some of those theories?
Next year, right now the plan is to, in the first 2 quarters, is to see how many targets we have that data on already and put together a plan of action. So we won't just declare a drilling date yet. Right now our focus is Peru, but we will most certainly be targeting between now and then, and we'll show the world how many of these targets have that high grade signature, and obviously making a market condition and situation call at the time.
It's kind of a short season, so you can't work as long as you might like to, but that's why Peru comes in handy really. You have news flow from Sombrero. So what?
It keeps us busy. We have until May to make a final decision up there. But Peru has stolen the show, as you're aware, with Sombrero. And this is an area that, you know, if you come visit the project, you'll walk on copper and gold for 2 days. You'll see hundreds of meters of 0.5, 0.7% copper gold equivalent. And then we are comparing this to Las Bambas, Tintaya, all the mines next door. Big ones. And the thesis isn't that we're going to find one of these mines. It's that we've extended the belt with all of them to the west. And we've age dated the rocks, which was the big answer that we got this summer. And it's the same age of intrusions as you have in all those mines next door. The main difference is we're getting more copper gold versus copper moly. And so, you know, the way we look at the project, it's going to have 2 or 3 years of major discoveries that we can make. That's how long it'll take to see if you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these major mines. It's really hard to digest into one equation because there could be multiple major discoveries. And so that's been the driver. We're about to get our DIA. Permitting process is arduous in Peru. The DIA, a lot of people are anticipating another year to wait for the DIA. We expect it by the end of this month. We've been through the thicker part of it. You submit your DIA, they have comments, observations. We're now just waiting for the final rubber stamp. Once we get that, it's about a 2.5 month process to turn a drill. You've got to do a social consultation with the government. We spent $600,000 US within the communities. We've brought in Australian lambs, French cows, ways to cultivate their meat, a lot of civil women's programs. We've affected 3,500 people that want us to drill. So we think we're probably going to be drilling in February, latest maybe March. And that's really right around the corner. And to go after a swing that could compete with Las Bambas, the 10th largest copper mine in the world.
So March, and then maybe sometime towards the middle of the year, we might have some drill results.
Oh, I think we get them within 3-4 weeks. I think they're going to be pretty fast. I mean, the thing I will caution everyone, these systems are big, and they're going to have big high-grade zones, and they're going to have low-grade zones. It might take us 10 holes to get into the discovery, or the discovery happens on hole 1. We're drilling right next to 109 meters of 0.7 on surface. That was limited by volcanic cover, so we couldn't sample any further. That's where the first drill hole's going. It's pretty good odds to start your program that way, but there's countless huge targets. The average drill depth will be around 400 meters based on our targeting and our geophysics. And then we have some that go down to 800 meters in depth. So this really has the potential to become something, you know, world-class tier 1, 500 million tons. And I think you fall back on grade, as we all do. Infrastructure is amazing, so we can support a lot lower grade, but we're hoping to land in the 0.5 to 1% copper gold equivalent. Next door, all the mines are around 0.6, so anywhere in that threshold, which is where all of our samples average to date statistically. So I think we have a chance, and I mean, size that we're talking about is not being found anymore, so that would be a massive win for us if it works out.
So you've had surface, primarily surface samples, so we're really looking for the next dimension, the third dimension.
There is a few drill holes by caution, and this is what really probably sustains our market cap is somebody before us drilled on a postage stamp for iron ore, and they drilled 116 meters of 0.58, plus a few other great holes. These holes were not targeting copper, they were targeting iron. They were half assay, nobody knew that the whole thing ran. We got to see the chalcopyrite in the sulfide core as well as the oxide, so now we know there's potential for big depth of system, but truly is the best opportunity you could speculate on without drilling it yourself, because somebody drilled a few holes. It gave us a fingerprint of the first 7 kilometers that we're going to test in geophysics. So we know a bit more than just walking up and turning our first drill rigs, but time will tell, and so will the truth machine when it comes out.
The truth machine, ultimately. So we'll be hearing from the truth machine and at Sombrero, but I can't let you go before you talk about Curubaya, because that seems to be a new, possible, exciting story. You have several other projects too that I think you might be able to monetize. I think you've talked about in the past, but lo and behold, it seems like Curubaya is maybe bigger than what a lot of investors thought. It might has the potential to become something special.
It was the first project we got in Peru. This was our country entry. And we had a third of 3 claims. And we had the claims with a geochemical signature, but we didn't have the high grade on it, which we're going to talk about right now. We tried to get it. The company was a Peruvian entity. They said, no way, we think this is a mine. They had a claim, and then another major mining company had a claim. Nobody could get the claim from the Peruvians that had it. They ended up going bankrupt. A hearing aid company out of Australia actually took over the shell that they were in. We bought it for a bit of a song, $250,000 US. And we're on a trend. Some of the biggest mines in Peru, Cerro Verde, Tocopala, Quellaveco. So you're on the right address to find something big. What's shocked all of us and a lot of the analysts that cover us is the grades we're finding. I think over 55 samples are from 200 grams silver to 14 kilos silver. This is over 6 square kilometers, so it's widespread. You get gold, 40 samples from 1 to 23 grams gold. Then you have these high-grade copper structures beside it coming into it, running from 1 to 14% copper. The address is impressive, and the grade is outstanding. We still don't know what to make of this much high grade everywhere. What we think is going to happen is we think there could be a nice precious metal deposit, a substantial one by the grade, on top or beside of a major porphyry. And so this soon will compete as tier 1, we think, as Sombrero does. Peru is the land of endowment, and it's somewhere that we think if you're going to go look for a big one, you're going to find it. And unlike Commitee Bay, you get to walk on and pick these samples off the surface. Commitee Bay is covered, so it's a bit more challenging. So we should get there quite easier. And lastly, permitting here is easier than where Sombrero is. We hope to be drilling it in Q4 next year.
Wow, a lot of news coming our way.
A lot of news coming our way.
Investors have a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely, looking very forward to.
It seems like it's been a bit quiet, but now the dragon is going to wake up.
The Q3 was really quiet for us, as you said. A lot hadn't happened, but it's happening now. Share price is starting to react. I think people should look forward to the drilling in Q1 And instead of targeting all these things this year, next year we'll be drilling from February through the end of next year. That's the goal. And that's where we're going to make our money, is when the drills hit the discovery holes or if they hit them.
Well, we've seen your companies do that sort of thing before.
Thank you.
So we're looking for an encore.
Absolutely. This will be our biggest swings that we've ever taken, and timing couldn't be better with the metals prices as well.
Fascinating. Thank you so much, Ivan.
Thank you so much, Jay.
All right, take
really
care.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.